Did you send your report?
I did. I have copies here if you'd like it.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, I got it too.
It was last minute, I apologize.
Probably sent it to me.
I deleted that one. Don't check. Don't even check.
Don't worry, I'll just forward this clerk report from.
That's not true. It didn't go. I deleted the email. You were alive.
Let me check my pulse.
Okay, are we on?
You are?
Okay. Welcome, folks, to the February 10th, 2025 Select Board meeting for the town of Parsonsfield. First up is our town clerk with her report.
Okay, this will be quick. So the 2022 30-day notices were sent out February 4th. There was about 15 accounts. I do have to call the attorney tomorrow on one issue. We had a payment before they were sent out and the check bounced. So I need to sort that out with the MMA attorney tomorrow on how that works with 30-day notices. So automatic foreclosure is scheduled for March 6, 2025 if the 2022 real estate taxes were not paid. I did want to talk to the board about the heating and food fund management a little bit. We have historically had cash in the safe regarding heating funds and food funds, and I would like to bring that into the bank and set up local accounts to disperse that money. As far as like instead of cash, purchase food vouchers, set up heating funds, maybe at Village Variety for K1, and local businesses, and set up accounts and we pay it so we can track it better rather than have funds in the safe. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts or would like to think about it.
So, would you set up a separate checking account?
It would be in the
just
account.
track
It
it
would be an in and out, basically.
Yeah, you would need a separate account. I don't know if you plan on doing that, but.
Yeah, Debbie and I talked about it,
Yeah.
set up the account, it's ready for it, but basically it would be deposited in, and then just paid out of that account.
And it does not close at year end.
Right, it's not town funds.
Yeah, I mean, from a tracking standpoint, you'd be able to track,
Right,
better track who's received it.
that's right.
Yeah, when you know what we've doled out.
Just to get rid of the cash.
Oh yeah, you
and
can't
also,
keep the
I don't like
cash.
keeping the cash, and also, to be honest, we've gotten a large donation on a check, and I don't really feel right cashing it and putting it in the safe. I think it should go to an account, so it's better tracked.
Okay. My only concern is intermixing town funds with non-town funds.
Okay, maybe I could talk to the auditor or Debbie and I.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
See how that works and how
Yeah.
to best manage that.
If you wouldn't mind, that would
Okay.
be good, yeah. Yeah, other than that, I certainly don't have
Okay.
any issue with it.
Well, it really is the town's funds, once they give it to.
Deb Renee's
Yeah,
gone.
it's on
Just
purpose.
grab that one.
The next item is regarding health insurance for the road crew on the off season. But I think it's best to table that for the next workshop. Is that?
Yeah,
to discuss
yeah,
that
I
more?
think we need to check with the health trust and look at that very closely,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, because you need a minimum number of hours to cover their cost of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least, they'd have to work enough hours. You know what I mean? Like it couldn't be.
Well, unless they're on the least expensive plan, which the town pays
for.
for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
which they are.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the only other concern that I have is that they were covered last year, and we had that December storm, so they were very much working.
Yes, right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's to be considered, I guess. So
Yeah.
they're kind of on
And there might
call.
be some alternatives to, no road work right now,
Right.
like I said.
Well, our guess is because he's an elected official.
But you know, the alternatives to keep them busy for a while would be even, like I said, shoveling. You know, it's,
I think that's how it was handled last year before the storm. So, table that. I did get a chance to look at the accounts to pay for Trio Web. I sent you 2 worksheets. I do have paper copies here. But basically, when I ran some numbers on what is left to be paid out until the end of the year, we will have enough money to pay out of the professional fees account. With everything taken out, we'll have $8,376 left over.
Do you have attorney fees?
I do. That's not in attorneys. That's not legal, the legal
Okay,
line item.
okay.
I don't know if anyone.
So,
I'm just pulling it up online.
yeah.
It's in my personal email.
It's not. The computer account does not have enough money. I think it was over $5,000, correct, for Trio Web?
Right.
Yep. It's just shy of $5,000 if you take everything out of the computer expenses.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
see that.
professional fees will have enough.
When is Bob Consul expecting his 4,500 for next year?
I think it's not until after our fiscal years.
Okay.
ends. Yeah.
So that'll be in
Yeah.
next year's.
Right.
Yeah.
Have this on my phone, make sure everybody hears.
And I was wondering about that, if that was the phone call.
Okay, well that, I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem taking that out of,
When is it due?
we haven't been billed, as far as I know.
Okay.
So I think their invoices are net 30, so we'd have 30 days.
Okay, so we'll just wait, see what happens with the
Yeah.
invoice, I guess.
On that note, we do need to give Trio a date for training. Okay, basically we said the week after, the last week of the month. Is there a date? A day that's good for you? What did we just talk about on the 27th, Jen?
The SRCC meeting. No, that was gonna be on the 26th of February. That's on the
Yeah, no.
26th, and then the 27th, I have an appointment of February. But
Starting the workshop.
starting the workshop,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So how about that Wednesday,
The 26th,
the 26th?
but that's the community cafe, and,
Oh, that's Community Cafe. No,
and, yeah,
that's no good.
although we could do it, after. I'm usually done cleaning by 1:30.
We could schedule it for 2. He said they schedule, I think, 3 hours, but generally it takes about an hour and a half.
Okay.
If it ran over, we might have to stay a little.
Good.
Is that all right?
Yep.
So, is that all right with you, Danielle?
Wednesday?
26th, yeah, and we'll shoot for 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, I will email him.
And that's Trio Web.
Yep.
Is that something you're gonna partake in, or?
Yep. Absolutely.
And the only other thing that I have is, we tabled it from last week, the, office cleaning options that I gave you in a worksheet, if there was any
Yeah.
discussion on that.
I gotta find him, hang on a second.
I've got them in front of me. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 options. Most of them look like they'll give references upon request. One was a contract.
I'll have to look at the sheet.
Yeah, gave a contract specified cleaning by the job. And you have cleaning tasks that are expected. Did anybody have any comments on that?
Nope, it was pretty, self-explanatory.
Okay.
Basically what they expected, and didn't shock anybody, what we were asking for, I guess.
Hmm.
Look at the
One of the
So-
quotes includes 3 hours of cleaning.
Right now, we're paying for about an hour, which is $160. And we have 2 cleaners that will include 3 hours of cleaning for $150. So, for a weekly rate, bi-weekly it's a little bit more just because there's more work if it's bi-weekly, so that's what they were assuming.
They have to work harder during those 3 hours.
So I don't know what your thoughts are, but
Well-
looks like we could get a lot more cleaning done.
Yeah. Of the new ones, Stacy Barton is the only one I'm familiar with. And I would certainly highly recommend her. I don't know the others.
And she's the one 150 for 3 hours, which is pretty.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll need somebody for 3 hours?
She was just giving an estimate.
Okay.
A lot of them quoted by the job rather than per hour.
Mm-hmm.
We did Jordan's cleaning, did give us an hourly rate, weekly and bi-weekly.
And what were you looking at them doing?
It's up at the top.
It's
Oh.
cleaning
All
tasks
the tasks.
expected.
Give them
Yeah.
all the same
I know. It's
information.
very small print.
Gym bathrooms, planning board, code office, at least once a month, vacuum, table wipe down, remove dust if it's accumulating, which we have a lot of dust in the planning board room, remove fingerprints from glass, dusting when needed, remove trash from bathrooms and offices and change out bags because we do all that right now, that would help. Replace paper towel, toilet paper, and soap, again, we do that, we would appreciate it if they did. Vacuum dust, wipe down select board room and clerk office, especially the public countertops and door handles, bathrooms, and vacuum hallways. So they were all given the same information. to
Okay,
come up
so
with.
no vacuuming in the CEO or planning board rooms? Is that right?
No, it's in there.
Vacuum.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Planning board CEO office vacuum at least once a month, table wipe down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it, sorry.
These are all commercial cleaners. This is what they're used to in office setting. I mean, they do residential as well, but they all have commercial experience. We do have some that we do prefer based on professionalism and references and paperwork they gave us. They were very prepared. But it's ultimately up to the board.
Well, like I said, I know one of them.
Yep.
I would take input from you or
I don't know any of them.
No.
I don't.
We were especially impressed with Jordan's Cleaning Company and Stacy Barton. Those would be the 2 that we would recommend. I've already spoken with Renee, and we feel the same.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
since Stacy is one of the ones you recommend and
And you do.
I don't know her. I know her, but I could talk.
She did a minimum of 3 hours. It's basically, she didn't feel comfortable giving an hourly rate, but she said for that list of tasks, it will take her 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
Whether
every
or
other
not you
week.
want to change the cleaning tasks, that's just what we had, come up with.
Will we have a contract that we could have subject to change or,
I believe so with either one of them, yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think we'd want to make sure that we're doing cleaning. I mean, ideally, we'd want a cleaner that cleans on Thursday afternoon.
Right.
So that they can take the trash and put it at the sidewalk when they're done.
Yep.
They're not having to take it away. They can just,
We
leave it
have
here.
a couple of huge trash barrels, they put it all into one and.
Yep.
Yep.
And that way the trash always gets taken out, on a weekly basis or, bi-weekly, whatever we decide to go with.
Yeah.
I think if we decide to go bi-weekly, I think that we would want to put a clause in there for winter time that they come in on the off week and just do a quick vacuum of,
I was thinking the same thing,
You know.
especially after the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the rug in your office is
We tried that. We tried that.
Yeah, getting a little worse for wear.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess I'd look for a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion that we have Stacy Barton of Barton's Cleaning Services in Hiram, Maine, hired as a town office cleaner.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Okay. So, let's see.
Then
You
come up-
have contact information for her, Danielle? Okay. I would say we want to give Delcy at least 2 weeks' notice. She's coming tomorrow, is that right?
Mhm.
I guess I would let her, I don't know. Since she only comes every other week.
Right, so,
Yeah. Okay. I guess if somebody can let her know, I don't plan on being here tomorrow.
Well, she'll be here tomorrow, and then she would be here on the 20th, correct, Deb?
she was supposed to be here last.
Supposed to be here last
Thursday,
week, so yeah,
and-
so she'll be here again on the 20th.
Oh, okay. All right, so we don't want to cut her off from that. I think we want to give her 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we say,
So we could tell her tomorrow, and
Yeah,
knowing that the 20th would be her last day.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be in here at some point in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, what time is she usually here, Deb?
Early, she's usually here at 8.
Oh, be here at 8.
I don't mind coming to her,
Okay.
unless Danielle wants to.
I honestly don't know her that well. You
Yeah,
know better
okay.
than I do.
Okay,
Okay.
very good, thank
Yep.
you.
And she can certainly call one of us if she's, yeah.
Tax collection updates are there. Reserve account, checking account balances are at the bottom, and I will be out for a few days this week, but that's my to-do list moving forward.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, now, if I can find the minutes, I apologize. Things were a little hectic today. Minutes, what's next on the agenda? Who can tell me?
Do you,
There it is.
we got review and approve. I've got them right here. Can you see them here? Maybe you can.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, everybody's seen agenda for today,
Mhm.
good with it? Okay, honestly, this was put together very quickly, so, our select person updates will be maybe lengthy at the end because there are some things that were left off. Okay, and minutes from last week, everybody been through those?
Yep.
You good? Okay, have a copy to be signed here. All right. And the warrant for this week,
Except I'm gonna SRCC instead of SMCC. Remember I mentioned that
oh,
under
yeah,
personnel.
yeah,
Can I make an R?
yes.
Okay.
And, I mean, don't make it show, don't try and hide it. It's just a,
SRCC
yeah, SRCC
instead
instead
of
of
SMCC. I'm gonna fold that next time into a plane.
there you go.
Okay.
That'll work.
All right.
Of course, I wouldn't know how to do that.
There we are. Okay, back to the agenda. Bills to be paid. This week's warrant is a big one because we have school payment and trash contract and our 2 plow contractors. Total is $305,124.91.
That's also because you're not meeting next Monday.
Oh, so we're paying some things maybe a little early because of that, yeah.
Because you won't be able to sign it on Monday, so.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad Danielle brought that up. Next Monday is a holiday, so this is, we will not have a meeting next week. We'll be back on the 24th. Okay, so like I said, $177,000 for the school budget, $20,000 for our trash contract, One plow contract is 45,000, the other one is 51,000, and then just the usual things. All right.
Is the attorney invoice?
I was just gonna
correct?
ask if there, do we need to make a specific point about that retainer fee?
I had to ask Ben about that.
I know, but I didn't wanna bring it up.
Yeah, yeah,
We could call the office maybe and talk
Yeah,
to.
we should call the
Call the
office.
office, maybe when I come
Yeah.
in tomorrow, we can call when,
yeah, okay.
yeah, cause he doesn't do the billing, but,
No,
No.
but
yeah,
I think all it's saying is that since it's a credit, it was an overpayment. But worth checking on.
okay.
Okay, ads, we don't have any going in this week. We may have something going in next week. We need to get an ad in about the lockers that Tom Winter is gonna remove, which Danielle gave us a sample for. And, that brings us to another point, and that's our workshop. We are gonna expand our workshop hours and have workshop time on Thursday afternoon from 2:30 until 4, along with the Monday 4:30 to 6. We found that sometimes that 4:30 to 6 on Monday is not enough. So with this additional workshop time, we can hopefully, first of all, catch up and then stay abreast of what's going on. So we will advertise that next week and the following week and start it on the 27th.
That's something else that was going on. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah, I thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll make a motion that we have a secondary workshop time on Thursdays, starting on February 27th, from 2:30 to 4.
that's the day I have an appointment, so I definitely
Yeah,
won't be here.
okay.
But that's,
Right.
that's okay,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you want to second that?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, I'm not sure we need a motion on this, but it's just workshop
Okay.
time,
Yep.
but,
And then
all right,
we'll-
all those in favor? Okay,
And we'll publicize it on the website,
yeah, we'll
Facebook
put that
page
on the
and
website,
shopping
Facebook,
guide.
the usual suspects,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So, let's see, discussion items, this is where we're lacking a few things. The furnace, you'll never guess what wasn't running this morning. That was our boiler. I came in before I went to breakfast, about 6:45, and I don't know how long it was out, because it wasn't too cold in here, but the boiler was not running. I reset the burner, and it stayed on. So fortunately, we got up to temperature, and JP Carroll did come out. The tech that was here detected a slight blip every now and then, and he told me what he thought it might be. And so he ordered one. He hopes to have it in hand tomorrow to be installed Wednesday. Yeah, this is to get us through this winter, basically, folks, because we hope to replace the system this summer. All right. Cannabis application. Basically, this is going to be continued. We had a discussion with our attorney, and he suggested at this point with the appeal process that we should probably not make any decision on on any cannabis applications. There is probably a lot more information than that to follow. We are hoping from an update from our attorney tomorrow, and we go from there. Basically, it's been a learning process for all of us.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes, so I'm Tammy Snow. I work with Chris Godomsky.
Hi, Tammy.
In his application. And I understand not wanting to make a decision because this is a new process. However, can the board at least deem the application to be complete?
Well, we're not comfortable with that because the one thing was the insurance that he gave us is not insurance for a cannabis facility, first of all. And there was one other item.
Doesn't have a conditional use.
Oh, yeah, the other issue was the conditional use approval.
Okay, so as far as it being for a cannabis facility, see, we're in a rock and a hard place here, because this is the landlord.
Mhm.
She has insurance that meets the requirements on the premises. Obviously, when a cannabis facility goes in there, he will need to get specialty insurance. However, he hasn't leased his property yet and doesn't want to until he knows that he's going to be able to operate there. So we're having this big lag time here, where if he were to be paying rent on this, he's just throwing money away and might not get approved. So what can we do there? Can, in the interim, this insurance be enough? Because there's no cannabis facility there yet to get insurance on.
Mhm.
And it's not just the insurance, it's also the conditional use.
Well, yeah, but that's a separate thing, but just for the insurance part of it, is there something that we can do that's reasonable to meet that requirement for now?
Well, possibly,
But
and
how-
I'm just talking here,
Yep.
a binder.
Okay.
I mean, he
Okay.
must have insurance on his current facility.
Well, but it wouldn't apply to this facility because it's a different, that's cultivation and this is a store. So it wouldn't carry over, but he probably could get a binder.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that sounds fair.
So a store, but there's a lot of, we're in consultation with the attorney and we expect to hear from him tomorrow as well. So I don't believe he's operating as a store, as
You
a
know what?
caregiver?
And I misspoke. Eventually, it'll be a store.
Okay.
So the application is for an adult use store, of medical marijuana cultivation and adult use cultivation. For now, he is focused on the medical marijuana cultivation. You're right.
Not even
So-
cultivation. He said he absolutely doesn't want to do cultivation.
Okay, because he's doing, okay, yeah.
He's using it as a caregiver facility.
Yeah, yeah, like an office. Yeah, and he has so many moving parts, and I apologize.
That's all right, we do too.
I know, I
We do
know.
too.
So yes, so you're right. So if he could get a binder until he knows that he's going to be able to operate there,
Mhm.
and then you already have a copy of this insurance, which it sounds like it doesn't matter. What you're looking for is okay, so I'll let him know that. Now, as far as the conditional use goes, what should he do? Because that seems like an internal town.
Yes, yeah,
thing.
it is, and our attorney is in touch with the planning board as well as the
Okay.
select board. There were numerous issues with the planning board process, and those need to be addressed, whether they affect this application or not.
Okay,
And that, we have to wait for them to, the planning
okay,
board
but
and the
that is
attorney.
being worked on.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, because he's really frustrated because that's an internal town issue
Mhm.
holding him up.
Mhm.
So do you have any idea?
I don't know at this point,
Okay,
no.
But I watched the YouTube last Monday night for the selectmen meeting. I mean, Jean said that all he needed is to have a planning board to write him a letter, state that I have given the conditional permit, not only the changing permit. At some point, have the Daniel amended, because I watched it from 12 minutes to 15 minutes. Also, the insurance, even the verbal from, I don't know what OCP means, or something means, because I have
Office of
I have a
Cannabis
copy.
yeah, that won't have
Policy, yeah.
anything to do
Yeah,
with
that's not
Yes.
Yeah.
insurance.
But, and then also we thought something internal, so Wednesday I was here with him, and then Wednesday talking about it, and I realized it was something tongue to do, because it was something new, and voted, and the result was, the save and say gonna fix that night. So, and we were happy to just work out, so maybe by now that things already get fixed.
Yeah, ideally,
So
they
now-
would be taken care of. We're in a
Okay.
Yep.
less than ideal situation, I have
Insurance
to
was
admit.
easier because I have this is from my insurance company. I'm the landlord. Usually I help them to shop around
Mhm.
because cannabis business is not national approved, so you have shopping within the state.
Mhm.
There's only a couple companies, but it's not that hard to find. You just have to quote it and put an
That's the
address
binder.
on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, we'll get a
Binder,
binder, yeah, yeah, so.
Yeah.
And the
yeah.
lawyer is also speaking with the planning board about this letter of
Okay.
conditional
Yeah.
use, okay?
Right.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
great,
Yep.
great.
we appreciate your patience. There's nothing
know,
Chris
it's
really
hard.
needs to do, right?
Okay,
Okay.
because he wasn't clear on if there's something he needs to do, so
Mhm.
now at least he knows the binder. And then, may I speak with your lawyer? I have to have your permission to speak with your lawyer.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna hear from him tomorrow, and
Okay.
we'll run that by him.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay?
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds
I know
great.
you've written to us about it, and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so when you talk to him, if he can speak with me, if you could just pass my,
contact
Yeah.
information, yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah,
Right.
because, I mean, we
Yeah.
want to get this worked out and,
Mhm.
you know, and Chris was just, he wasn't sure at this point what he needed to do.
Well,
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm the landlord now, the change of the use for the building, it take 2 months, finally can pass. From October, November, it can move in, from January pass. Now I'm waiting because even the lease sign was on the condition with the license.
Mhm.
You obviously can't open with a license.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's kind of waste of time, waste of money, so I'm like, what's going on, you know? I joined this meeting, I was so mean to something already, can fix it, you know, and,
Still needs to be fixed.
yeah, I know, but like I say, maybe you guys can call or something to get a little push or
Well, they-
something, get this going.
They are,
you
they're
know?
working with
Yeah,
the lawyer.
we're
and I
working with the
appreciate
lawyer.
knowing
We
that.
cannot tell the planning board what to do. Planning board is an independent board. They are working with the lawyer, though, okay? We have no control over them.
But the last, once they planning board, they say they fixed it. So it's like,
Well,
That's-
yeah,
and then
I
the
don't
Monday
know.
night, you say to just have a planning board right line added. It's like, we hear, listen to you guys voting down deal, and then now as a lawyer, I feel like a ping pong here. You know,
Mhm.
just-
We kind of know.
Yeah, yeah. Again, we understand the
We do, we do,
frustration.
right.
We're hoping to get things worked out
And I
soon.
understand your side of it too, in that this is new, is this the first one? The first application that you've had?
We have we have a couple applications, yeah.
Okay, well, I know of one other.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and of course, there's also the issue, and I'd actually asked the question, and never got a response, and maybe you don't know. So there's this 750-foot buffer
Mhm.
between stores.
Correct.
In the ordinance. One of the other applicants is within that 750. So how will you decide who is first in the race?
Good question. We have looked at different scenarios. I mean, at this point, we don't have any complete applications, so it's a moot point. We are talking about that, though.
Okay,
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, so, once the planning board gets the letter right, we get you a binder, it'll be a complete application,
I believe so.
correct? Yeah. If they do the same thing on the same day, then, so, good, you're talking about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
The other one, as far as I know, the application for the planning board for the other one has not completed yet at this point. These we got approved
Mhm.
for the change
Yeah,
of
that,
use.
that could be, I'm not certain.
Because we got approved to January for the change of use, already to approve a letter from the planning board.
Yeah.
As far as I know of, the application for the planning board has not been completed.
Yeah. Okay, all right,
Okay.
good.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Okay, so now we're gonna move to what's gonna end up being the meat of the meeting probably for our select board updates. Jen?
Okay, we'll try to kind of run through this. We have Jim Paulette, who's requested some support from the town for his application to move some of his racetrack into a general development district with SRCC. We've had conversations with Sherry and communication back and forth about what that would entail. I don't think we've actually had consensus among us, because we haven't had a lot of time to talk about it, how we feel about just having no objection for his business to be put into a general development, taken out of limited residential. Basically a half an acre, moves the racetrack the racetrack is about 50 foot into the corridor on that one corner. So, yeah.
All right, well, we were initially told that we could just have the zoning changed back if there was a sale or a change of use, but we now find out we have to petition for that to happen if we want it to, and the corridor can either approve or deny the petition, and they look at all kinds of different things. So I was initially all for saying we have no objection. I'm a little less excited about that at this point, but I'm not against it, so I guess I look for other inputs.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that moving it into a more restrictive, which is what this is doing, is moving it into a more restrictive would be, I'd be amenable to, certainly to no objection. I don't know that didn't sound like they were looking for anything more than that from the town.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's in light industrial. It's a commercial business. Putting it in general development is the more restrictive. I don't know where his noise barriers lie, since that hadn't been approved for SRCC. I don't know if he's completed that, but that is something I think that we could say we have no objection, as long as the noise barriers that go, that are built to code and ordinance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should also note that this is a portion of the racetrack that's always been there.
Right.
It was operating apparently contrary to SRCC rules, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, they didn't even know.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the initial determination was that it was not within the corridor's jurisdiction, but that's not the case.
Yeah, you certainly got to, applaud Mr. Paulette for doing the right thing, right? He could have easily just said, this is
He could have easily
something
said
we-
nothing.
Right, exactly, and it's done it. And I know going through the planning board, when this application first came in, that from a sound level, that Jesse's been down there and tested the decibels and things like that. So, I know that Jesse's been on top of at least that piece of it from a sound standpoint. So, yeah, I mean, I would have no problem submitting a no objection. Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'd be hesitant to go any further than that.
Yeah.
But
We don't know that the corridor's going to approve it anyway. I
Right.
mean, they have a commission, they can't say, we don't know yay or nay, but
Yeah.
if we say we have no objection, I'm all for that as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, I would go for that then.
Okay. I'll make a motion
Okay,
that we support Jim Paulette by having no objection to the corridor commission taking him out of limited residential and putting it into general development.
second.
okay. All
Treadway,
right.
Maine.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay. Very good, thank you, Jim will be happy.
Yes.
All right, what else?
Okay, good news is that I've been in touch with CMP about the utility pole at the end of Pendexter Road, where
Oh,
it tees
yes.
into Elm Street.
Yep.
Because it is the perfect site for a convex traffic mirror to be able to see that blind spot. There's been complaints from residents, the traffic just flies down that road. You make a right-hand turn going into Keyser Falls Village, and you look up and there's somebody right on your butt.
Yeah, and
Um,
I will note it's gotten worse now with the snowbank there.
Yep.
You can see even less.
Oh.
At least in my little
Okay.
car.
Well, they emailed me and said the town has approval to place a convex traffic mirror as long as we do it, buy it, and I've already talked to Maya, he said, why not? It has to be higher than 10 feet and less than 15 feet on the pole, so.
Okay.
We can look into what the cost of that is. I kind of looked on Amazon, it's not too bad for a convex mirror, and then we'll talk to Maya about getting it put up.
Jeff,
Jeff, there's a job.
Yep. Yep.
So that was good news. We've also had concerns about the sidewalks in town not being plowed or shoveled out, and particularly the bridge. Porter stops at the Porter town line, and then ours doesn't get cleaned up at all. And what can we do about it? You know, I don't know. I can talk to Porter and find out who does theirs, and
Yeah, I guess I'd start there if I was looking into it, and then.
it's not a huge section.
No, it isn't, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's, well, unless you've got equipment, it's shoveling.
Yeah.
Again, it may be something that Jeff can help out with.
Yeah. Why
Yeah, I
don't
get
find
thinking
out?
about that, and that's certainly like, not only that sidewalk, but all sidewalks. You know, and that's certainly an opportunity for us to utilize Jeff in the off-season for something, you know, for snow removal. I know that, you know, if we're looking for opportunities for him, then
Yeah.
that's certainly one, is going the, you know, entire length down, you know, down.
We would need some equipment then. Maybe Maya has some.
Right, yeah, I don't know, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what he has or what he's able to use, you know.
I thought
know.
residents were responsible for cleaning their sidewalks.
Yeah, in lieu of the town doing it, yeah, residents are responsible,
Yeah,
you know.
most towns clean their sidewalks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
but yeah, we definitely,
Meyer might have the right piece of
yeah.
Yeah, you might.
yeah,
equipment, I mean, I'm sorry.
Mm. I can ask when I
Yeah.
talk to him about the mirror, maybe,
yeah.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you would.
if I remember.
So,
Um,
let's see, do we need to go any further on that? I guess we're just investigating at this point,
Yeah,
although we've got a couple of storms coming up, so.
yeah, over the next
Would
couple.
Meyer's budget support snow?
It's gonna have to, he's gonna have to understand that.
mm.
I mean, it's not gonna be a large portion,
No,
but it will be some, that's what it's gonna have to come out of.
Right, his budget would be supportive of the wages, whatever the wages are.
Yep,
Equipment,
Equipment
Equipment.
use, yeah, yep,
yep,
sand, salt,
yep.
maybe.
Maybe. Let's see, I've got that. We had a request from Tom about the Piper Fund and the Elijah Fox Fund, changing the directorship of that, something we haven't been able to talk about yet, so,
Yeah.
but,
okay. I'm sorry, can I just ask you, when you say someone's name, say their whole name, because people
Okay.
don't know who Sherry is, they don't know who Tom is, so.
okay, did I say Tom Winter? No, I said
No,
Tom.
you said Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, so that's something that we have to discuss at some point,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
and maybe we'll do that at a workshop.
yeah.
Animal Control Officer Deputy, what do you want to just mention?
Yeah, yeah. We are in need of an animal control officer. We also have a deputy ACO who will not continue to work for the wage that he's getting. So what we'd like to do is move him up, assuming that some of the other requirements that he had, or requests that he had initially to be ACO are on the back burner for now. So what we'd like to do is move him up to the ACO position, if he'll accept that. And go from there with his requests. We'll look at those and see if there's ones we can deal with next fiscal year.
Yeah, and so moving him up kind of gives us the budget flexibility to afford any increase in
Right.
pay that we're gonna, you know, try to offset to keep someone in that
Right,
role.
Right.
Yeah,
And we discussed $22 an hour for his time. We don't know if he'll accept that, but that's what we're gonna offer him. I don't know if we need to vote on that, but it wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess, since it is a financial impact. I'll look for a motion to pay our ACO $22 an hour.
so moved.
Seconded and,
All in favor? Okay. All right, so,
Sorry, I just had someone messaged me over the weekend and asked if there was training available if someone was interested in ACO training and becoming.
Oh, I think we said that in our
Yeah.
ad, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, do you want me to ask her to come in or get back to her on that?
Well,
Hmm,
with this motion, we have an ACO, but we would need a deputy ACO,
Okay.
yeah, which there's still training for. All right, will you get in touch with Dave Lonsby?
Yep.
Okay.
well, we were gonna have him come in, right, and talk to him,
No, we're not, we need to let him know.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be 2 weeks
Okay.
before we can talk to him.
right.
What if
Okay.
he says he won't accept it?
Then,
We'll see you in 2 weeks, if it's okay.
yeah. Okay. What else you got?
What else you got?
You've taken all my things.
Oh, okay, good. 'cause
No, it's
we-
perfect.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the workshop items and I'm seeing CEO request for mileage and cell phone. Didn't even touch upon that, so.
No, but we talked about it. I mean, the CEO should get paid for mileage. Should have always gotten paid for mileage. And we talked about a cell phone last week or the week before.
Well, we've talked about cell phones before,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we need to get him a cell phone that's a town phone so that he can get people off of his personal phone. And we're not paying for his personal phone, yes.
If, just a thought, if you're considering a CEO, there's other positions that are also on a call, like Maya. He uses his personal phone just as much, if not more, than Jesse does, so, I mean, it should be across the board, I believe.
Really? As much as Jesse?
Maya,
Yeah,
you can ask him, but
okay. Yeah, I would have that conversation with him, I guess, but,
Request for mileage for a paid employee. When he was stipended, I can see it. Isn't that part of the job? I mean, he's making a good salary,
yeah, okay.
and he's pretty much staying in Parsonsfield, right? I mean,
Well, for
yeah,
CEO stuff,
Right.
yeah.
I'd have to think about that one.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, we don't have to decide
Right.
tonight, but, yeah, think about it. Okay. All right, anything else?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay, Aaron,
Yeah, a few updates. One, on the website, we got the first draft. We went over that during the workshop. Took a look at the website. Looks really good. Few minimal, color changes and things, that we're going to look to update. Daniel, thank you for posting about the photos. I did get quite a few
nice.
photos. So, appreciate people sending those in. Please continue to do so. Yeah, got some really good ones and some good information about, drone and aerial photos and being able to use them for commercial, having to have been taken by someone who has a, operator's license and things
Yeah.
like that to use it for commercial and some things that I hadn't considered. So that was good to information to get. Followed up on the Great Works Internet email that we received.
Yeah, yeah.
I asked, what's the plan for Parsonsfield and what are you looking to do? And pretty much got back the same response that the first email said. Danielle was copied on it. It's the only reason I looked at her. And so I wrote back and said, through the BEAD program and where the BEAD program is right now, you should be submitting detailed plans to the BEAD program. So there should be a detailed plan for Parsonsfield. What is that detailed plan? Like, what is,
Right.
you're asking for a letter for our support. What am I supporting? I just want to understand what you're asking us
Yeah.
to support. And it's been radio silence, and this was a week ago? Yeah, it was last week, middle of last week. So I haven't received a response. I don't know if they're just reaching out to try to get as much support for what they're doing,
My
or
guess is that's what it was.
yeah. And so now that I've asked as many questions as I've asked, and displayed my knowledge, I got back a something that you can find on the MCA web, the Maine Connect Authority website,
Mhm.
in, just a couple quick searches,
Yeah.
Maps of Parsonsfield being, one of the areas of need,
Yeah.
which we all know. We have internet here. We know it needs to be updated. So, if they come back with a proposal, certainly we'll bring that before the board, but I haven't received anything back, so. And then lastly, two updates from a Girl Scout standpoint. One was we placed the box for the donations for Harvest Hills, and so I didn't notice if there's been anything in there.
think so.
They've started to receive a few donations, and they are looking for another place to place the box, place a secondary box, and so they're looking for that. And then lastly, they're working on a democracy badge. And so the troop is needing to, one, tour town office, and two, meet with a town official. They're looking to do that either Wednesday, either in 2 days, or after school vacation. So they meet every other week, so it'll be the 26th. They are looking for 5 to 6 p.m. is when they do their meeting. So they would come in, they'd open up their meeting, do their opening ceremony, they would do the quick tour of the town hall, they would meet with a town official, and then they'd do the closing ceremony, and then they would be out. It's all would happen in, like I said, 5 to 6, so it all happens pretty quickly. And so they wanted to know if they could use Parsonsfield, and I thought that was a great idea. But I obviously want to get permission, and then see if anybody is interested in being there to kind of talk about what your role is at the town. I mean, I can certainly do it. Obviously, 2 of the Girl Scouts are my girls.
What does Dad do?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're just start going when he has these
Taught her to
random meetings on
Right.
Mondays. But I also got thinking about it and talking through it with Heather that it's Girl Scouts, right? So
Yep.
it's.
I know where this is going.
It certainly would be
I know where this
beneficial
is
to
going.
have somebody in the town who's an official, and so, if that's something that, if one of those dates works better, we can certainly look at doing those. So again, that was the 12th, which is this coming Wednesday, like 2 days from now, or the 26th.
The 26th is probably out, because there's Community Cafe, that's the day we're doing our trio web, there's a planning board meeting,
Yep.
there's a lot going on that day.
Yeah.
And, so it's at 5 to 6 on Wednesday?
It is.
The 26th is planning board?
No, next
No.
week.
Next week's
Next
planning
week
board.
is planning board.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a busy day.
Yeah.
I'm not trying, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure I got dates right.
Right. But actually, if you're right, if there's not that, and I'm here all day anyway.
I'd be glad to join you. I mean,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, let's do it on the 26th.
26th?
Yeah,
Okay.
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 I will let them know the 26th from 5 to 6 will work great for it. Yeah, they said that they could use the gym. They don't need access to any sort of special meeting rooms or anything like that.
Well, they
Outside-
could tour and-
Yeah, outside, getting the tour.
Yeah.
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 But, yeah, help them get their democracy badge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We used to take the Girl Scouts to the Museum of Science for an overnight for just another type of things to get
Yeah.
girls interested in science.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they still do that?
They do all kinds of trips. So they raise funds for. Last year they were raising funds, and they as a troop went to Urban Air,
Oh,
the
okay.
trampoline park.
Yep.
So they did that, and so they've started to get more into the community service type
Yeah.
stuff, and
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
Good.
so they're
Yep.
very excited. And of course, it's cookie time.
Mhm.
Okay, I wrote it in.
Perfect.
All right, anything else?
That was it.
That was it. Okay, let's see. We've been reminded that our trash contract is up this year, and we neglected to have a warrant item on last year's town meeting warrant to allow us to sign a 3-year contract, which we need town approval for. So we will have to have a special town meeting. probably not too far in the distant future. I would say in the next, let's see, this is February, by the end of March, probably. So we can get requests for bids out. So all of you trash haulers out there that are listening, we would like bids. We'll get out the spec sheet after that town meeting. Let's see, Consolidated Communications is coming in Wednesday, this Wednesday, to install our new phones. So I would note that although technology is great, inevitably there are going to be some hiccups. Hopefully the system will be up as soon as it's in place. But please bear with us as we learn the new system. It's going to be a little different. It will have a front-end menu on it. Anyways, please bear with us as we're learning the system. Danielle, if you wouldn't mind posting something about that on the website, just to
Will
say
the
that
phones be down for a while?
they should not be down according to these people. The switch, they can get everything in place, and then the switchover can occur.
Okay, good.
This is what date, I'm sorry, I missed that.
It's Wednesday the
Wednesday.
12th,
Wednesday,
yeah.
Hibernating.
And they're supposed to be here about 9. Okay, and this really is a workshop item, but I'm gonna ask again. I apologize, I don't remember about archiving or expanding email storage. I know you said that we've got a deal right now.
We do have a deal right now. And so if your inbox is running up against storage space issues, we
Yeah.
can go to the next level. There's obviously additional costs with that, but we
Yeah.
can go to so basically everybody starts out with the basic plan,
Yeah,
and then there's a tier above that you can go to that has the additional space.
okay, now, since I'm divorced from this now, do we still have our Microsoft Office subscriptions through GoDaddy?
Yes,
we do.
everything, we pay for the whole suite with that GoDaddy.
Okay,
And so I think that's what's happening is we're not getting the full level of that. And I know Chris
I thought we had,
said he was gonna work on that
okay.
Yeah,
for,
I'll put you in, I had it on my list, I gotta put you guys in contact
Yeah.
with that, because I've got a list of what he kinda ran down,
Okay.
gave me, and
Oh,
I don't
okay.
understand half of it, so.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I'm at a point where I'm deleting some things that are not critical, but they need to be saved, and
emails?
emails.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've done a few of that too, because I was like at 90%,
Yeah,
but
same.
full, mailbox full. But I thought we had some extraordinary plan with so much storage
yeah,
that,
I mean,
when we got this whole new package with
right, I
Chris.
thought it was 50
Yeah.
megabytes.
So I think we,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm at 94%, so it's not
Yeah,
absolutely critical.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you get me in touch with him,
I will
and then
share,
I'll find out.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that with the Microsoft one, there should be shared data. So I'm wondering if there's something we need to do on our end in order to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I took a quick look at the Microsoft plans, and either the second or third tier gives you 50 gigabytes
Right.
of email storage.
Yeah.
So, that'll cover as long as I'm around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what the next level up is.
Okay.
In GoDaddy, it's very easy to go in and just update an email.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right, good. I won't ask that again, hopefully.
Yeah.
Promises, promises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have anything else? We do have a lot of workshop items that we're still working on, and that's why we're expanding our workshop time. Yeah, I guess that's it. Look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, folks.